Alien Invasion in the lower half of the bracket, they really do have the potential to go all the way to the finals here.
Yeah, but I've seen Alien Invasion play, and man, they're good.
They
They're
they are
really
good.
good.
But it's kind of funny because they ended up on the lower side of the bracket with My Insanity because My Insanity came second to Cascade in their group.
Oh,
And so now MYI will play Alien Invasion in the round of four if Alien Invasion advance from the round of eight.
all right. But enough about that. We're inside the game now.
Yes, we are.
So playing at the top corner at the top. Right, it's map where it's the opposite. So, all right, at the top we have GoOdy, the current winner of the matchup. So he needs to defend this to continue his team's wins. And he's the red player and playing Terran. And at the bottom we have the purple player Adonminus from ESC Gaming. He needs to win this to actually have a continue taking down each of the opponents, shooting them down one by one, and we'll see if he does that. And it's his map choice, and we're gonna see what he makes of that.
It is indeed, and I mean this is the advantage they get when it's even like this. If they just trade wins, Cascade are the players who will, if it's 3-3, Cascade will be the team who send out their play on the final map, so they know who they want to send out for their final play of ESC. So that's the advantage of going 1-0 up and taking that early lead, even though it's now equalised. So GoOdy, he wants to turn things around here for his team. He's one of his team's best players, and he will be looking for a win here to take his team into a bit of an advantage and put the pressure onto Cascade.
Yeah, both players doing a really early scout here. A really good play from both of them because they don't want to be cheesed at this moment. But there is no cheese. There's only a straight up play. So I think we're gonna see some bigger games here, which is really interesting. So maybe some Banshee, maybe some siege tanks, maybe some other stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, from GoOdy, we could see anything. He's actually playing a much more standard opening, the Reaper. But again, Reapers can go into anything, and he produces a Marines here straight away. Despite having a lot of gas, so he's going to go into the factory very quickly, and there it is. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to open mech, but it doesn't mean he's going to open with some kind of pressure. We'll have to see how well Adonminus is going to prepare for this. He takes a pretty fast Nexus before Warpgate, before a Stalker or anything. So a really fast Nexus coming down, and now Chronoboosts his Mothership Core to help defend this Reaper, which is doing a fair amount of damage. He's taking the shields off a couple of workers, and he gets one there. And we'll be looking for maybe a second before, but he doesn't want to run too far into that mineral line. And again, Mothership Core comes out. That means that Reaper does just have to turn away.
Yeah. He's probably going to see if the base is there or being built. Yup, it is. And he knows exactly what he's up against. The factory is soon done back in the base. It's going to be interesting to see if he goes directly into a starport. Yes, he does. So we're probably going to see Banshees. Which is a really good choice. It forces your. I think that what GoOdy is trying to do right now is
might just drop actually, because he's making Hellions and he doesn't have a second gas.
Yeah.
So he could just get a medevac out of that starport, and with a medevac, he could start to do a lot of damage, especially if Adonminus is underprepared. But he really does need to do a lot of damage because Adonminus has this fast natural. Whereas GoOdy doesn't have a command center yet, so GoOdy can't afford Adonminus to get too good of an economic lead. And there's the Stargate coming up for Adonminus.
Yes, it is. Oh my God, you were right. All right,
it's like
it's gonna be
man. You said oracles first, but I get the feeling he will. I don't know what's he seen. He's seen the gas opening. Obviously, he knows it's gas opening because of the river, but he didn't see the factory or the starport. Now he could go straight into Phoenixes, and if he goes straight into Phoenixes, he could just he builds an oracle first. But he might still follow this up with Phoenixes, and if he does that, it's going to become very hard for GoOdy to actually do any damage with this medevac, which has just come out here. But he is building a Viking to help kind of deny some damage, and this medevac coming across the map, and the Hellions just waiting for now. And this is unspotted so far because GoOdy has all the map control.
Yeah. It's probably going to do a quick drop, wait for the Nexus cannon to go off, and then pick them up, and they go right to the next one. But there's actually not really anything to defend here. There's one Stalker just jumping around.
this Oracle actually comes out and he's going to
Oh,
start engaging. And well, I don't actually know if this was a good decision. He loses the Oracle, which is a huge mistake. And with four Hellions heading towards the natural, this mothership core, he can only throw an overcharge in one location. And chooses to do it in the main, but this means most of these workers at the natural will go down, and Adonminus doesn't know where to pull his workers.
wow, really good play here by GoOdy. Two-pronged attack. Wow, that was really good timing on everything.
Yeah, everything came together just at the right time, and this Stalker has to be careful. He can't really trade. He's actually building another Oracle here. And I mean, there is a lack of anti-air for GoOdy, but he can pick up and get out very, very quickly. With his Hellions, probably. He actually picks his Marines up, just runs his Hellions away and keeps everything alive. So this is really nice. GoOdy hasn't really lost anything so far. You know, he's just lost 4 Marines. And other than 4 Marines, he's done so much damage. 10 workers killed. And his command center is now finishing up. And he's going into tanks. And he's going into Tech Lab Starport. So maybe now, Marvin, we will see that Banshee. It could just be a Raven, though.
It could be Raven as well, but Banshee makes much more sense. GoOdy is really good at harassing. And mostly, most plays that I seen by Terrans is mostly, standard drops here and there. But GoOdy has attacks at several places at once, catching opponents off guard, and going into new builds as he's going from old ones. It's a really impressive play style.
Yeah, definitely. Everything getting repaired up here by some SCVs in the main base, and GoOdy with a tank now I think can pretty safely move down to his low ground, and yes, he does. So just moving down to the low ground here, as you might expect, more tanks on the way, bounties on the way, no cloak. So not looking for cloak, and there is Phoenixes out. So if any Banshee moves across the map, it's going to die pretty quickly, but it can still be used later in the game. You can keep it alive and whatever. He actually goes back into Viking production now, and wow, he's actually moving forward as though he wants to just straight up get aggressive with this. And the Oracle runs through the middle of the map, and he loses it.
Wow.
This is really bad for Adonminus, because that was one way he was obviously going to look to put on some counter aggression. And I don't know if he actually has enough to defend this attack at the front right now.
3 Hellions drops straight inside the base. They're probably not gonna do that much. And he needs to get out of there with the medevac. Actually gets it.
These 2 Vikings are going to get the mothership core, but not before Photon Overcharge has been used. And, well, it looks as though Adonminus is going to keep on chasing and fighting here. I'm not sure if he is able to come this far back. A Banshee coming in as well. It will go down at, overall very quickly to them Phoenixes. But, I mean, GoOdy, well, he's going to get cleaned up here. His attack's going to die off. He's still got a tank, which is going to back him up. And, wow, that one Immortal is so low on HP. If he was able to take that down, that would have been really nice. But he just isn't able to, and all of a sudden losing his tank makes it look a lot more like a mistake. And well, where does he go from here? Because he's still only on he's on 2 bases, but he's got very low production: 1 starport, 1 factory, 1 barracks. Yeah. Now he adds on a 3rd command center.
32 SCVs against 42. Still, he got mules, so he's got that going for him, which is great. But when it comes to army, he got nothing. He's got nothing to defend. Well, okay, 2 siege tanks and a couple of turrets, so there's no way actually Adonminus getting into the base right now, but, well, maybe he could actually rush it. These Immortals could tank the damage from the siege tanks pretty well.
Yep, we're seeing Adonminus trying to get aggressive, but again, 2 tanks is a very nice way to deflect that. And look at this, Adonminus just started to take his own 3rd base, and wow, look at this, he's going into a Fleet Beacon and another Stargate. So he's accepting that GoOdy is probably going to play a mech style for the rest of this game, and he's going to try and just rush into either Carriers or Tempests. And you know what, some people would laugh when you say Carriers, but he probably could if he wanted to, because Carriers are really effective against mech. We saw Stats, for example, use them in GSL against mech, and they can work out, but Tempests are by far the obvious choice.
Yeah.
As more factories are now being added on. The 3rd base finishes, and GoOdy's economy, it's still okay with 3 command centers, triple mule. It's okay, and wow, Anion Pulse Crystals and more Phoenixes. He's just kind of massing Phoenixes. This is actually weird. And 2 starports. Did GoOdy just scan? No, but I think he's probably played Adonminus so many times that he'll know that he does crazy stuff like this, but I guess. Wow.
Oh, well, we'll see what actually where GoOdy goes from here. GoOdy actually goes for the upgrades now. He really needs them. So this just shows us in for a longer game than just trying to finish this right now. And we're fine with that, you know, seeing these playstyles against each other. But when it comes to playstyle, GoOdy has a really dynamic. He does everything at once. Adonminus is really, you know, it's a bit slower, but he does everything really, really well. So it's a bit of a, you know, an unstoppable object meeting an... No, wait. How it is? Unstoppable object and immovable... Unstoppable force, immovable object. My brain froze. Yeah.
In the end, these Vikings deflecting these Phoenixes, and there are the carriers now on the way. But I mean, GoOdy's going full Viking mode right now, and Widow Mines. He's got such a good read on Adonminus. He's actually scanned this time. He has seen the fleet beacon, so I mean, he knows what's up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really like it. I mean, Widow Mine Viking is the way you're going to beat mass air from your opponent. Like, maybe add some fours in, but other than that, I don't know what else to say. Like, this game is gonna become a classic GoOdy game, just crazy. And oh wow, you know, I told you that this was gonna be max 2 hours, but then I forgot GoOdy was playing today. And if we see like a bunch of mech games in a row, this could definitely go on for a little bit longer.
So we're in for a classic fire cake game here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, maybe. Well, not necessarily. Fire cake 3 hours long, but I mean just GoOdy, which is just average game length, probably like hour and a half or something.
Wow.
I don't know. He does play so many long games, but I mean he can be aggressive as well, as we saw in game 2 from him.
Yeah, and it doesn't look that any one of the players needs to finish this right now. Another 4th base coming up here from Adonminus. He really wants the more income so he can build up his army a bit more. 3 carriers at a time is being produced.
Both of these guys know this is going for the long game. They're both going for the long game here, and so they're both reacting as though that's the case. And kind of intrigued how the Phoenixes are going to play out. I'd be intrigued if Adonminus actually maybe invest in a Templar Archives and Storm. I think that might be a really nice way to kind of soften up a lot of the Vikings. But of course, he'd have to be very careful, because if he walks into range of the tanks, then all of a sudden his Templars aren't going to be any good for anything. So Marines are taking down these rocks at the back so that GoOdy can start to take a 4th base of his own. I don't think it's really a bad thing that the Protoss is expanding faster than him here. I mean, he is playing mech. It is the slower style, even, and generally the Protoss is the faster expander. I don't know how that plays out when they expand faster and they go mass carrier.
Yeah. But still, both players have a really good income. The lead isn't that big, and GoOdy can always compensate by dropping a couple of more mules, which actually mine him up faster, but he doesn't mind that. He gets the extra income. And they don't have that much of a bank. It's not that it actually masses like almost 1,000 minerals here and sits to it, but they're going to spend it really, really well and try to maximize the armor as soon as possible. And a move out now from GoOdy. Wow.
This is interesting. I mean, he's got so many mines. He's got a whole bunch of Vikings as well. And the scary thing for Adonminus is he's just going to let him walk down into his 4th base. And this is scary. And I mean, GoOdy's not going to commit into a fight too quickly. He moves his mines forward and they burrow very, very quickly here. But they do start to go off, and then Phoenixes just melt. Oh my god.
So much damage on everything.
But I mean, the carriers, the interceptors do so much here. The Phoenixes will all die off, and there will be a good amount of Vikings remaining. And all of these mines will remain for now. I'm not sure if there's an observer that can spot them. This was a weird trade. Now, Adonminus is going to attack across the map with 5 carriers, but with more Vikings in kind of in defense, GoOdy should be able to turn that around. And there's still a whole bunch of mines over here, which will start to get picked away at. But he scans and gets the observer. That was brilliant.
Oh wow. That was quick thinking, man, because them mines, they stay a little bit longer. I would be surprised if he doesn't actually move a few of them away, and he will try and pull them 3 of them away here, at least. And they are spotted by the Zealot on the mineral line, on the tower, and they're going to try and head towards the 3rd base, but there's cannons there. So he's just going to burrow them in case anything kind of comes across, and the ones from previously will just get killed off here. So a weird fight where really it was a very even trade. I think actually GoOdy got the better end of it because he killed off all of the Phoenixes of his opponent. Them mine hits were disgusting. Yeah. And they are almost tied when it comes to resources lost. Extremely well done here by both players. So we're just gonna see there's gonna be a next wave, and the next wave will contain Hellbats, and we're gonna see Thor that's being produced now. Now Thor is one of my favorite units. They're so cool, and also they're super effective against anything flying.
Yeah, man, especially since they got the kind of added thing which makes them just do imber damage to fly and stuff.
Yeah,
It's really crazy. Goody's still making so many Vikings at a time here, and I mean that's not a bad thing. As you know what actually surprises me is that his +2 is so late here. He's never started that for a long, long time, so that's actually maybe one thing. I mean, if he already had +2, that last fight might have been a little bit different, but not the end of the world. We've seen armory on the way as well, a second armory that is, and that'll be so he can get his attack and ground and armor upgrades at the same time. Still no fusion core though, which is something which we could potentially see at some point. A scan reveals this army, and we're going to see some Vikings flying ahead and start targeting down these carriers.
oh man, the damage they're doing, and all the wind mounts just
Oh my god.
pick so much up. Wow.
Goody just lost his whole Viking fleet, and he didn't really kill anything. I think the Widowmines went off on the interceptors, which actually ended up killing the Vikings.
Yes.
And now Goody doesn't really have any anti-air. I mean, he's got a couple of forwards. He's got a couple of. Oh my god, you can see. I mean, the mines just don't do good against interceptors at all. Like, wow. And Goody's in trouble. I mean, Adonminus just continuing to push forward, and carriers are gonna make the way.
Yeah, he needs to fight under the missile towers, and that's what we're trying to do right now. But
I mean, he's got fours that they're good, and they will turn this away for now. But that was a scary moment here, as he's just going to continue. He's actually moving his tanks a bit too far forward. These interceptors are such an issue. And, I mean, he needs to kind of pull his SCVs to repair his fours because he just cannot afford to lose any right now after how kind of inefficiently he just traded there.
yeah, and there's a Thor with 2 HP. A hero Thor.
He pulls some SCVs, starts making turrets. I really think he just needs to start repairing because if you lose, he's basically on 2 fours right now, but if he repairs, he's back to 4 fours for almost nothing. And maybe he even needs to add reactors to these 2 starports, which he's just left kind of with no add-ons all game, and just start pumping out more and more Vikings at a time so you can remax quicker. Because he's got the number of Vikings queued up. Just if you have reactors, it'd pay dividends for him because they'd come out so much faster here. So that fight really not going in Goody's favor, and Adonminus. That was a nice way to start turning the tides of the battle, and now he has played a little bit more cost efficiently, and he's got more bases up than his opponent.
Yeah, and level 3 ship weapons soon coming up here, and Proto's gonna start working on armor now, so it's in really, really good shape. Still, it's like these games have been played in set. And it feels like Goody won the first set, Adonminus won the second set, and now we're in for a third set.
Yeah, it's really weird. I question him still making so many Widow mines. Like he's got 16 mines, but with this many mines, we saw the first fight they worked out really well, but then the second fight they actually worked against him because I'm pretty sure that's where all his Vikings went, his mines doing friendly fire. And I think it's really important to note here that Goody's not playing this style because this is how he normally plays. He's playing this style because he knows this is how Adonminus reacts to him. And, well, Adonminus is about to get aggressive again, and these mines need to unburrow because otherwise we might see... Wow, oh my god, how much damage do carriers do? This is crazy. Oh my god, the mines! He just blew up a 4.
Yeah. Friendly fire. Man.
Yeah, that was friendly fire and a half, and... Man, interceptors are so good. They really mess with the AI, and I mean, yeah, and I mean, what else can you say? Mess with the AI, blow up your opponent's fours because they've set off the Widow mines. It's kind of scary, and this is why I actually think in this situation, carriers are going to be a little bit better than Tempest, as Adonminus gives chase here. Goody getting a better end of this trade, I think. Going to get a carrier, and killing carriers is always nice.
Yeah, you get a whole fleet of interceptor at once, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, 3-2 is about to finish for Goody. That's important to note because I mean this air army's been on 2-3-1 for a long time, And wow, good. He's thinking about moving forward. He's going to try and burrow these mines underneath the carriers. Phoenix is coming in to try and intercept, and I'm not sure what's
Oh
up on,
wow.
on the Phoenixes apparently. But is it enough? I mean, these Vikings are going to start going down again. There's still a lot of carriers in the sky. Another mine goes off. The Phoenix numbers really are starting to hurt, and a few fours. I mean, in fact, a lot of these interceptors are currently dead, and fours are going to start eating through these carriers as some more Vikings and mines come out here to try and help out, but the intercepting numbers are increasing again.
Yeah, and I don't know about the Widow Mines. I don't know if they do damage to their own units or to the
They just killed the
intercept.
last few Phoenixes, but there's nothing left to kill off these carriers because he's been fighting against his own Widow Mines, I think, and he's desperately remaking units right now, and he's gonna hold on once again here. And I mean, I just don't know what to say. The mines they do so much damage to himself, but then they kill off all the Phoenixes, and you're like, well, which one's doing better? I don't really know. Wow, this game's actually ridiculous. The problem is again, GoOdy. He needs the fifth base. He doesn't have one right now, and his opponent's on six bases. And most important, he's getting gas off six bases. So that's really really nice. This army supply is actually in favor of GoOdy at the moment. And that's because Adonminus has so many workers. He's been 30 workers ahead for the majority of the game. Right now, a single Hellion gets a bunch of kills down to the south side, southwest corner, which is nice as GoOdy now will secure this fifth base. I don't think he's going to have too much trouble actually securing this. So this is quite nice. He actually scans to the right hand side and he sees these. He sees this base. He's going to run into it, despite there being a whole bunch of cannons there, and he will get some probes. Wow, he's going to get a lot of probes. 5. That was nice.
Nice. So just to give a good measure how even these players are, units lost, resources lost for GoOdy, 29,000. Resources lost from Adonminus, 30,000. So it's just 1,000 resources that actually separates the player. This is insane.
Yeah. And again, the main difference is the fact that Adonminus has already been mined off of them extra bases. So while he's traded for the same amount of money, he's lost the same amount, but he's mined more. So that puts him in a slightly better spot here. But that being said, he's going to try and come forward and fight, and the mines are going to go off on interceptors again. But that being said, I mean, if he kills off the majority of these interceptors, it becomes a lot easier, in fact, for GoOdy to fight. But the Vikings being chased by Phoenixes again here, and the Phoenixes are kind of being the real trouble. And well, I'm not sure what's going on. There's a lot of interceptors coming up again here, and fours are trying to fight down. All the Vikings are dead once again. But again, GoOdy's more or less just about going to turn this around, and mines are going to start going off again here. And I mean, with the mines recharging, I actually they go off a bit uselessly there. But the carrier number is actually falling quite significantly.
Yeah. They're taking out a lot of damage right now. The shields are damaged, and they're... Oh, one more is going down.
There.
2 carriers left.
This is I actually think starting to turn into favor of GoOdy here, because the carriers are the real kind of pushing force. Without the carriers, the Phoenixes, they mean nothing. And I mean, Adonminus has a huge gas bank. He makes 6 carriers at a time here, and GoOdy loses a couple of Vikings as gets a little bit overzealous with them, and more mines just going off, and the game is still in a bit of a crazy state. But actually, Adonminus is in a bit of a supply lead, and GoOdy may just not have enough money to keep on making units, and that may be his downfall at this point.
Yeah, he really needs to start mining from that 5th base.
Yeah, he really does. I think he might just about be... these Phoenixes are the real problem, because the Phoenixes are stopping these Vikings getting in and engaging the carriers. And you can see GoOdy is really hurting in supplies, and he's got free, which is nice, but he's going to lose this 5th base, which he needs to mine from, because he's only mining off of one base right now, whereas Adonminus has the entire map almost.
Yeah. And both players are now actually maxed in upgrades. It's just a battle of units and harassment. And we've seen quite little harassment here for both players. There's been a couple of run-bys and drops and stuff like that, but nothing major. And I think that actually can make a lot of difference.
Yeah, I think the thing for Adonminus is he's so scared to fly his Phoenixes around picking off workers in case he flies into like 3 mines. Because if he loses all them Phoenixes, it gives GoOdy a huge timing. So I think he's a little bit scared now. GoOdy, I think he's basically just had to put all his resources into turrets compared to making Hellions.
Yeah.
But I mean, the few Hellions we have seen out on the map have done a decent amount. He's actually killed 51 workers throughout the game. And we have a couple of Hellions actually right now heading towards the bottom right-hand side. Nope, he's changed direction, but he's going towards one of the bases to get some damage done. But we're going to have a big fight here once again.
More carriers are coming in, and I don't know. I feel that this is the last encounter because there's so many carriers.
Yeah,
There's so
all the
much
forces are
Phoenixes.
going down here. And I mean, there's a lot of Vikings left over, but there's just nothing to really back them up anymore. And we've seen beforehand, it's kind of a combination of everything which has been helping out. A carrier goes down here, Phoenix has come in, and well, the mines are going to start going off. Maybe I'm not too sure, but I don't think GoOdy has enough this time around because there's just no answer to the carriers. The Vikings aren't in large enough numbers. The interceptors are just continuing to be remade, and what a clash of the Titans here in game 3 of this best of 7. Wow. I think GoOdy finally will type out